What's going on, guys? My name is Retro, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to raise your FPS in H1Z1, and it's just basically going to be a few optimization things of the settings and whatnot in the game. And a part of the new update, there's a new feature that you can do, and I will show you guys how to do that in game, and that'll hopefully make your FPS better. Well, it should, because you're changing something that involves the render distance and all that stuff. But anyways, I'll show you that here in just a second. But if you go ahead and look in the description, you're going to find this folder right here, and basically this is all the things we're going to use to basically make your FPS better. So just follow this guide, and you should get a couple more FPS in game. So first off, we have a CCleaner. You just want to go ahead and run this setup file. Go ahead and go through the installation, press install, go through all that. Once you do get that installed, you should basically I would run it every week. I mean every day if you wanted to. It's not going to hurt anything. It's super quick too. Maybe takes 5 seconds at most. But what it does is it runs through your computer. It checks for all the stuff in your computer, temporary files and whatnot, and it basically just gets rid of unnecessary things that are holding up storage in your computer. And it'll clean it out and make it faster. So you can analyze it, and it'll tell you how much stuff it's found, or you can just go right into the cleaner. So I'll show you a quick one. I don't want you can go through your applications. I don't use any of these, but like Google Chrome, I use that. I don't want it to delete my download history and stuff that I download, because I may need to go back to that. And that's basically all. So you can just click Run Cleaner. It's gonna tell you it's gonna permanently delete it. You're gonna press Alright, and it'll run. You might have to just read these messages and click Yes. And once it finishes, it'll tell you it removed 1,297 megabytes. That's basically a gig that it just cleared from my computer in less than 5, 7, 6 seconds. I totally just skipped a number there. But yeah, so it just removed a gig. This basically just runs through your computer and cleans it out. So I would run that about every week or so, just to make sure you're getting rid of those unnecessary files. Next in the folder, we have your launch options. Now, you're going to go ahead and open up this, and you're basically just going to copy this whole line of code right here. The no splash, no pause, CPU count, max memory. The only things you will need to change based on your computer is how many CPU cores that are in your processor. So I have a i5 4690K, so in my case I have 4 cores, so I'm going to put down 4 right there. Max memory, this has to do with your RAM, and if you see right here, there's a list of numbers. So if you have 8 gigs of RAM, you're going to use this number. If you have, let's say, 16 gigs of RAM, you'll use that number, and you'll go ahead and put it right there. And then threads, this is basically the amount of threads that are in your processor as well. So more than likely, if you have an i5, you're going to have the same threads as your CPU count. If you have an i7 processor, I'm mostly sure that i7s have double threading or hyper threading or whatever, so you get double. So you would put this at 8. But just check, go look at the specs of your processor and just confirm. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead and want to copy this line. You're going to go ahead and open up Steam, go to your library, go to H1Z1, go down to Properties, set launch options, and you're going to go ahead and want to, if there's something in there, delete it. If you have already done this, then you've basically already done this part. But you want to go ahead and paste it in there, press OK, and you're done with that part. You can go ahead and minimize Steam and close this out. On to the next thing in the list, MSI Afterburner. You want to go ahead and run this, set it up, install it. Once you've done that, you want to go ahead and open it. And basically what this does is allows you to overclock, basically overdo the settings in your computer. So basically you're tampering with the fan speed, your clock speed, all this kind of stuff. I mean, most of the stuff you won't have to deal with, but I'm gonna go and show you what to do. Just to ensure that your graphics card and all that stuff is running optimally and getting the max performance out of it, you're gonna go ahead and want to click this little auto button and make the fan speed 100. This basically is just going to turn it all the way up, so it's keeping your PC nice and cool to get the best performance and keeping those temperatures low. And if you want, you can change your core clock up. I'll just put it, I don't know, 50. I mean, you don't have to do this. Same with memory clock. You can do whatever you want. Let's just keep it at 0 for now. But or 1. Okay, I don't think I can get this. Alright, we'll just keep it at 1. But yeah, but I mean, you don't have to mess with this, but this, it could help. It might make it run a little faster, but that's just up to you. And go ahead and minimize that, and it'll just put it down here in your system tray and out of the way. And last but not least on the list are user options for H1Z1. Now, if you go back to Steam, or you can open up the game, go to Properties, Local Files, Browse Local Files, go down to your user options. This is basically all the user options in the game. Now, I have settings that it may seem like very low settings, like 0 texture, 0 quality, and all this stuff. It makes it's not as bad as it looks. Like, it's not like you're gonna have terrible texture and terrible quality in game. I play with these settings. It's great quality. I have no issues. Good FPS all around. All right, so there's no negatives to it. But what you want to do is you're gonna want to copy the user options inside the FPS guide folder. Go ahead and copy that. Go to where you browse the local file, paste it in here, replace it, and once you replace it, you can just make sure that you double click on it. Make sure everything is right. Just confirm that. Make sure it's all right. Right click, go to properties, and make sure to set it on read only, so that just in case, or not just in case, but when you're in game and you tamper with settings, it won't save it. So the next time you open your game, it's going to run the exact same and nothing gets modified in the file. So once you do that, you're basically good to go. You should have very good settings, and you should boost your FPS just a little, if not a little, a lot, then, and you should see a little performance difference. Now, for the last thing that's not in this folder, it's actually in game. They in the newest update of H1Z1, they added a keybind to change your render distance. So if you click it's the left bracket and left brace, right bracket and right brace buttons right next to the P on the keyboard. If you click those, the left bracket is to subtract 500 from your render distance, and the right one is to add 500 to your render distance. So if you're parachuting down, you can click on that, so you can see where you're going. Then when you get in game, you can minus it all the way down to just 500. It does it in increments of 500. So that definitely will increase your FPS so I would do that because I do that every game, and it definitely helps. But anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I'll see you guys later in the next video.